By the year 100 CE, one city housed more than 1 million people. It was the largest city on Earth, by a distance that no other civilization could match. Its armies had marched into Britain, into Egypt, into Persia, deep into Africa. At its height, 1 in 4 people alive on Earth lived under Roman rule. Rome didn't just build an empire, Rome was the empire. And it all began with 7 hills and a handful of farmers who didn't know what they were starting. Rome was not chosen at random, and no one planned it. But geography handed early Rome something almost no other settlement in the ancient world had: a natural crossing point on the most important river in central Italy. The Tiber River was the artery of the Italian peninsula. Whoever controlled its main crossing controlled all trade and all movement between the north and the south. Early farmers settled on the hills beside that crossing, 7 hills rising steeply from the riverbanks. To attack Rome, an enemy had to fight uphill from every direction. It was, without anyone intending it to be, one of the most defensible positions in the Mediterranean world. Geography didn't just help Rome survive its early years. It handed Rome the keys to the entire Italian peninsula, and from there, everything else. In 509 BC, Rome did something almost no civilization in history had done before. It abolished its king. Instead of a monarch, Rome created 2 consuls, elected leaders who served for exactly 1 year. Neither could make a major decision without the other, and when their year ended, they went back to being ordinary citizens. This system, checks and balances, shared power, annual accountability, was radical, genuinely revolutionary. It meant Rome's power could not be hijacked by a single man, or at least, that was the idea. For 500 years the Republic held, and in those 500 years, Rome built everything: the roads, the laws, the legions, the institutions that would one day hold together an empire of 70 million people. The Republic didn't just govern Rome, it gave Rome a reason to trust itself. Rome's greatest invention was not the aqueduct, not the arch, not even concrete. It was the legion. Unlike the massed armies of its enemies, vast, undisciplined crowds of men pointed in one direction, Rome's legions were professional, they were trained, they were paid. They served for 25 years and became an institution unto themselves. A Roman legionary was not a warrior. He was an engineer, a road builder, a siege specialist, a professional soldier, all in one. And wherever the legions marched, they built roads. Over 400,000 kilometers of paved road, a network so vast that you can still walk stretches of it today. Those roads didn't just move armies, they moved trade, they moved ideas. They moved the Latin language and Roman law into the furthest corners of a continent. The legions were how Rome conquered. The roads were how Rome kept what it conquered. For all its genius, the Roman Republic had one fatal flaw. It was built for a city, not an empire. As Rome expanded, absorbing new peoples, new territories, new wealth, the old system began to strain. Power pooled around successful generals, and the most successful general of them all was Julius Caesar. Caesar conquered Gaul in 8 brutal years. He crossed the Rhine into Germania, he sailed to Britain, he marched into Egypt, and then, in 49 BCE, he crossed the Rubicon River with his army, an act that Roman law strictly forbade. It was a declaration of civil war, and Caesar won. The Senate, terrified of exactly the kind of monarchy Rome had abolished 5 centuries earlier, assassinated him on the floor of the chamber on the Ides of March, 44 BCE. But killing Caesar didn't save the Republic, it ended it. Out of the chaos that followed Caesar's death, one man emerged with total control. His name was Octavian. History would know him as Augustus, the first true emperor of Rome. And instead of more conquest, Augustus chose something more powerful: stability. The Pax Romana, the Roman peace. 200 years, from 27 BCE to 180 CE, of relative calm across an empire of 70 million people, 3 continents, and hundreds of distinct peoples and languages. At its height, the Roman Empire stretched from the Scottish Highlands to the borders of Mesopotamia, from the Rhine to the Sahara. No empire before or after has ever held so many people together for so long under a single system of law and governance. The Western Roman Empire fell in 476 CE, but Rome never really ended. Its language became French, Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, and Romanian, spoken today by over 1 billion people. Its laws became the legal foundation of nearly every Western democracy. Its roads are still walked, its buildings are still standing. Its calendar, the one Julius Caesar reformed in 46 BCE, is still in use, including the calendar on your phone right now. Rome didn't just become an empire. Rome became the template for what civilization could be, what law could be, what a city could aspire to become. Every civilization that rose after Rome, whether they acknowledged it or not, was building on Roman foundations. That's how 7 hills and a river became the center of the ancient world. If you enjoyed this, like, comment your thoughts, and hit subscribe. Every week, we're uncovering the empires, wars, and civilizations that built the world we live in now.